All righty, well, it's 3 o'clock Eastern, noon there on the West Coast. Let's get started. We're very excited today that you joined us for our webinar with Holland America Line. I am joined today by Scott Newcomb, who I'm going to turn it over to in just a couple of minutes. He's going to tell us more about Holland America Line, talk some about some of the destinations they go to, and some of the special opportunities that we have available. Before we get started, I just had a couple of housekeeping tips. As I mentioned, as soon as I get finished, I'm going to turn it over to Scott, after which time we are going to have a Q&A. You will see, if you look at the little box on the right-hand side, I assume on most people's computers, there is a little chat box where you can ask any questions you have. I threw a quick note in there. While Scott is talking, if you have any questions, I will try answering them as I can during his presentation. And then after Scott's done, we'll make sure we answer any questions anybody has in the allotted amount of time. We are, as we do with all of these webinars, we are taping this webinar. So at the conclusion, we will upload it to the internet on our YouTube channel. And then we'll send everybody an email with a link to this webinar so you can review it at your leisure. Always like to mention with MOAA Vacations, we book all your friends and family as well. So if there's anybody who you think would be interested in joining you on this Holland America cruise, feel free to invite them to join and, of course, share this webinar with them when we go through kind of this information. As you know, it's a great opportunity to travel with friends and family. It really adds a lot to the enjoyment of a cruise. And of course, we also have the opportunities to travel with your fellow MOAA members from across the country. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Scott. Scott's going to take us through a lot of information. So as I mentioned, any questions as you go, ask them now, or you can save it till the end. So without any further ado, this is Scott with Holland America Line.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to present today. And of course, thank you everyone for your time this afternoon as well. All right, well, let's get moving. Okay, so as John said, my name is Scott Newcomb, and I am the Business Development Manager for the Midwest, and I'm thrilled to talk about Holland America. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our brand, and then really dive into Alaska, which is what we're most well known for. It's our most popular product, and Holland America really is synonymous with Alaska. And then lastly, I'll just wrap up with a couple of promotions for you. So first, I'll just tell you a little bit about our cruise line, Holland America. So if you are not familiar with Holland, or it's been a while since you've sailed with us perhaps, we've done a little bit of rebranding and really cater our brand and our cruises to the explorers, foodies, and music lovers of the world. If you would consider yourself an explorer, a foodie, or music lover, there's a great chance that Holland America is going to be a fantastic cruise line for you. We also have phenomenal renowned service, beautiful ships as well. But I will touch on each one of these as we move forward. So first of all, I like to start off with one of my favorites, which is the food. The food on Holland America is absolutely phenomenal. If you've ever cruised with us, you know that, or if you know anybody who sailed with us, the food is phenomenal. Being that I work for Holland, I get to sail on our ships quite a bit, and every few months, if it's been a while, I just start craving it. It's absolutely phenomenal. In large part, this is due to our celebrity chefs. So you may recognize these folks from the big cooking shows out there, Iron Chef, Chopped. These people have Michelin star restaurants, James Beard Awards. They're absolutely phenomenal, and they design our meals and our restaurants. But it doesn't just stop at the food, that also goes for our drinks as well. So James Suckling, he's a very famous wine enthusiast throughout the world. He picks our wines. And Dale DeGroff is known as the king of cocktails, and he designs our cocktails and mixed drinks. We also have a ton of culinary experiences like Blend, which is on some of our newer ships. That's a partnership with Chateau Ste. Michelle. It's a phenomenal winery. And if you look on the right-hand side, you see those barrels. You can create your own blend of wine, have it right there at the table, or you can even bottle it up and bring it home for your friends and family. That's just one example of the many types of culinary experiences we offer on our ships. Where I think Holland really separates ourselves in the cruise industry these days is in live entertainment, and specifically live music. So there is truly no cruise line out there that compares to Holland when it comes to live music. We have a series of live music venues. We call it the Music Walk. And again, if you haven't sailed with us in a while, you may not be familiar with this, but we installed the Music Walk about 5 years ago, and it is a series of 4 different live music venues. Lincoln Center Stage has phenomenal classical music. Many of these people have actually graduated from Juilliard. They're exceptional. BB King's Blues Club, that's typically our most popular. It's very high energy and fun show, and we get these people directly from the BB King's Blues Clubs around the world. They're absolutely amazing. Billboard Onboard is our dueling pianos, and Rolling Stone Rock Room is only on our 3 newest ships at the moment, which is our brand new ship, the Rotterdam, the new Statendam, and the Koningsdam. Now, folks, in addition to these nightly shows, every night you got live entertainment on board our ships. We also have our nightly shows on board the main stage, which we call the World Stage. So those will be either theater-style shows, or a very popular one is BBC Earth in Concert. So that's a great performance. It's going to be a film of the nature and the wildlife that you're visiting, like in Alaska, in concert with a live symphony orchestra. It's a really kind of moving and powerful type of experience. For explorers, what this means is all about immersing you deeper into the destination. So in a world where cruise ships keep getting bigger and bigger, 3, 4, 5,000 guests on board cruise ships now, that is not the Holland America way. We are a premium cruise line, and part of that is being a mid-sized ship. So on average, we have 1,800 guests on board our ships. That smaller size of ship allows us to go into far more ports throughout the world and really give you a more immersive and unique experience. We also have we call our programming Exploration Central. So everywhere you go, we have regionally based programming, activities, and food. We also have these great professionals on board our ship that can help you to find the perfect excursions in the place you're visiting. For the renowned service, it's just a staple of our brand. We have absolutely phenomenal service on board our ships. Oftentimes, you may see your cabin steward just a couple times going to and from your room, and they'll remember your name. The bartenders will remember your order and greet you with a smile every time they see you. We have phenomenal service. And then you see this picture of the flowers. Well, the reason we have that is because we actually spend over $10,000 per week on fresh flowers throughout our ships. So that's just an extra touch of lavishness that you can come to expect from Holland. And then finally, our perfectly sized ships. As I mentioned, we are a medium-sized ship, on average 1,800 guests on board our ships. We have wraparound decks so that you can view nature on all sides of the ship. When we're in certain destinations like Glacier Bay National Park in Alaska, we actually open up the front of the ship, or the bow of the ship that you can see in this picture, so that you can get closer to that nature as well. And this is really important, especially in a place like Alaska. You don't want to be fighting 5,000 people for railing space to see the glaciers, the wildlife, and get that picture that you want. You never have to deal with that with Holland America. We do go to all 7 continents, over 470 ports throughout the world. So please give us a look if you're ever interested in going somewhere unique around the world, and especially in some place like Europe. Perhaps you've cruised there before, but you'd like to see a more unique itinerary. Because of our smaller ships, we have a lot of really interesting itineraries and sailings that may appeal to you. But with that being said, we're here to talk about Alaska. And at Holland America, we say we are Alaska. We actually started what's known as cruising in Alaska 75 years ago. We're the first cruise line to ever cruise Alaska, and we've been doing that for more than twice as long as our nearest competitor. So we are the most experienced cruise line in Alaska, and we are the most awarded cruise line as well. So here's some of the many awards that we have recently won. And now that we're back to cruising post-COVID, we're thrilled to add many more awards to that moving forward. Now, when it comes to experiencing Alaska with us, we have 3 different ways that you can experience it. So we have the cruise only, we have the cruise tour, which is the or land and sea, which includes the cruise and the interior of Denali. And then we also offer experiences to the Yukon. And we are the only major cruise line that offers tours or experiences to the Yukon, and is actually our highest rated experience in the entire world. So if you have a couple extra days to experience the Yukon, I would highly suggest that. So first I want to take you through the cruise only and then explain what the land part is all about. So I've been fortunate to go to Alaska 3 times now, and I have done this particular itinerary twice. It's a fantastic 7-day round trip sailing out of Seattle. And so we go up to Juneau, Glacier Bay National Park, which is an absolute highlight, down to Sitka, Ketchikan, and return to Seattle. So I'm going to kind of walk through this itinerary to show you what that means for Holland America and some interesting, kind of competitive advantages that we have to sail in Alaska, followed by the land portion. So the first big stop is Juneau, and this is the capital of Alaska. I always think it's kind of funny. I don't know who decided on making that the capital of Alaska, since it's only accessible by ship or by plane, but it is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. It's my favorite port stop that I have been to in Alaska. So when you get off the ship, we have the best docking position of any cruise line, and I'll show you that better in the next slide. But you can walk off the ship, immediately get on this gondola that you see in the upper left-hand corner, and then go up the mountainside for some beautiful views. Now, the majority of these pictures that you're about to see, I took myself with my iPhone, so that is very an example of what you can expect to see as well. So you take that gondola up the mountainside, and then the bottom right, that is a picture that I took with my iPhone. It is just absolutely stunning there. There's also fantastic culinary experiences in Alaska. If you think about the fresh seafood and crab, Tracy's King Crab Shack is the most famous restaurant up there in Juneau, and certainly a great place to try some of their fantastic crab and seafood. Then one of the most beautiful spots you'll be able to see is Mendenhall Glacier. It's just a short little bus ride out to the glacier, and you can get very close up to it as well. So I took that picture in the bottom left. You can get all the way up to the edge of the lake, get very close to this beautiful glacier. You have the lake on the left-hand side. There's a gorgeous waterfall on the right-hand side. It is just truly stunning nature in Juneau. There's also kayaking and whale watching experiences as well that you can do. In Juneau, it's one of the best whale watching areas in the entire world. They will give you your money back if you do not see whales while whale watching in Juneau. Now, I mentioned this briefly, but one of the best parts about sailing with Holland America, especially in Alaska, remember we've been there longer than anyone else, and we have a phenomenal relationship with Alaska. Because of that, we get the best docking position of any other cruise line. So you see right there, HAL is Holland America Line. We pull up and we go right into the downtown of Juneau. So you walk off the ship and you can do that gondola ride up the side of the mountain. All the great restaurants and shopping is there right when you get off the ship, and all the shore excursions as well. The majority of the other cruise lines, they either have to tender in, which means they have to you have to get on a small little boat and come into Juneau, or you have to dock over a mile away around the corner. And for most people, that's going to be a 10 or 20 minute shuttle ride. But you don't have to deal with any of that inconvenience with Holland America. So this is certainly a nice convenience in Juneau, but I'll show you even a better one here as we move forward. Now, our next stop is Glacier Bay National Park. This is the absolute crown jewel of glacier viewing in Alaska, and one of the top glacier viewing areas in the entire world. And again, because of our relationship with Alaska, we are one of the few cruise lines actually allowed into this national park. So Royal Caribbean and Celebrity do not have any permits for Glacier Bay National Park. Norwegian has very limited options, and even Princess has fairly limited options to get into Glacier Bay National Park. Holland by far has the most permits, which means the most opportunities and sailings for you to experience this amazing place. We also get to stay longer in this national park than any of the other cruise lines as well. And this is where it really comes into play. Having that uncrowded experience is phenomenal. You don't want to be fighting 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on the railings to see the beautiful glaciers, the whales next to you, and you don't have to deal with that with Holland. We also bring on National Park Rangers and Hoona Tribe members on board to share their stories and insights, and you can ask them any questions about the national park as well. So we'll move to the next slide. This one usually takes a moment to load. Got some bigger pictures here. So give me just one moment. There we go. So here I am in Glacier Bay National Park, and some people, you know, that they just imagine that Alaska is this cold tundra. Well, that is certainly not the case. Here you see I'm in short sleeves in Glacier Bay National Park, of all places. So Alaska's temperatures and weather widely varies. The best thing to do is just bring layers, but it is absolutely stunning here. On the left-hand side, you see Marjorie Glacier. That's the largest glacier in the national park. And this is truly one of the most beautiful places in the entire world. If you are interested in seeing glaciers, I would highly suggest making sure that you go with Holland America so that you can see this national park and these beautiful sites. The next stop brings us to Sitka. Now, this is a big fishing town and some great cultural experiences here. In fact, let me back up before I talk about a couple of these bullet points. If you take a look in the upper right-hand corner, right behind my head there, you might see all those fish. Well, that's thousands and thousands of salmon just going right up the stream there. Just such a unique sight to see, and that's a type of thing that you can really only see in Alaska. In addition to some of those beautiful sights and a nice little hiking trail I went down, you can also see the birds of prey in the rehab center called the Alaska Raptor Center, or the bears as well. Some great nature excursions if you'd like to do some hiking or fishing. There's also a great art scene in Sitka if you'd like to try glass blowing or go to the art galleries as well. And then we have Ketchikan. Ketchikan is the where most of the Native American heritage is in Alaska. And so it has the largest collection of totem poles in the entire world. So you can do a nice guided tour of that with a Native American guide. Do some great wilderness sport fishing, zip lining there, or a very fun lumberjack show. The most popular area in Ketchikan is Creek Street. It's this beautiful little boardwalk where you can see in the bottom left. And what you may see if you look at that picture, all those people looking down. Well, what they're looking down at is actually 6 or 7 seals playing in the creek right below us. Again, just a beautiful example of the nature and the type of things that you can really only see in Alaska. Now, I showed you our docking position in Juneau, and again, that was certainly a nice convenience. But where this really comes into play is in some of the ports like Ketchikan. So there, you know, I like to bring up Ketchikan. It's a little town, you know, it's only a few thousand people there. There's no suburbs. There's nothing going on outside the immediate downtown. And that really is important when it comes to this docking position. We pull up and you get to walk off right into the downtown of Ketchikan where everything is, all the shore excursions. Now, the majority of the other cruise lines have to actually dock over 8 miles away. And again, you're talking about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on these larger cruise ships that then have to wait in line to take a bus down to where we just let you off into Ketchikan. For most people, that's going to take over an hour to get downtown and over an hour to get back to the cruise line. And that's just not the way you want to spend your vacation that you paid for and want to see the sights of Alaska. You don't have to deal with that with Holland, where we get the best docking positions out there. So that brings me to the end of the cruise only part. And so now I want to share, why would you want to do a cruise tour? Why would you want to see the land part of Alaska? Well, for me, that comes down to 2 main things. First, the ability to see Denali Mountain. It's the largest mountain in North America. You get the opportunity to see there, weather permitting. And if you'd like to see the wildlife of Alaska. So on the cruise only, it's very likely to see whales, seals, bald eagles, but not very likely to see something like bears, moose, caribou, that type of thing. So if you'd like to experience the wildlife in the interior of Alaska, you really do need to do a cruise tour. Now we have 3 main ways of doing a cruise tour, and we call them a single, double, or triple Denali. All that means is 1, 2, or 3 nights in Denali National Park. And so typically I wouldn't really suggest a single Denali, because really you travel to Denali, you do a little overnight and have dinner, and then you leave the very next day. I would highly suggest doing a double or triple Denali, which again means 2 or 3 nights in Denali, so that you have the time to experience this area, and it includes the Tundra Wilderness Tour, which is a guided tour of Denali National Park. So when we get off the ship, head on up to Denali, we get to do a luxury train ride, which is called the McKinley Explorer, and see beautiful sights like this. This is a luxury train ride. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it is included on every single one of our cruise tours. It's a fully narrated experience by a fantastic guide who will share the history of the area and point out things as we go along. And we have glass domes on all sides of you so that you can really make sure that you're seeing the nature on all sides of the train. We also have fantastic luggage service so that you never have to deal with your luggage. All you have to do is put it right outside your cabin on the cruise ship, and we will take it from there. You will never see it until you get to the resort in Denali. Just really enjoy the experience on board the train. So this next slide, you might see some nice nature. It's a little bit of a cloudy day here, but the more important thing I want to point out to you is that there's no glare in these pictures. And that is because we designed the glass with Kodak so that it minimizes glare, and you will almost never have any glare in the pictures that you take while going through the nature of Alaska on board the train. And that brings us to our award-winning resort called the McKinley Chalet Resort. It's this beautiful rustic resort. I just went about a month ago myself, and I've never felt so immersed and surrounded by nature as I was at this resort. It's absolutely phenomenal, surrounded by 60 acres of Denali National Park all around you. The highlight of this resort is called Denali Square. It's this beautiful area right in the center of the resort, and we have all these fun activities. So you see the bonfire pits that you can roast s'mores on in the evening. On the left-hand side, we have live music that's constantly played there, and also great shopping and restaurants as well. It's just a beautiful place, and oftentimes people from other resorts in the area will come to our resort just so that they can hang out in Denali Square where you get to stay. So the next day, we'll do our tour of Denali National Park called the Tundra Wilderness Tour and get the opportunity to see this big, beautiful mountain, largest mountain in North America. So the Tundra Wilderness Tour is included on all of our 2- and 3-night stays in Denali. And this is really important because most of the other cruise lines will either not include a tour of Denali National Park, or they'll only give you the natural history tour, which only goes 16 miles in. And after experiencing this myself just about a month ago, I can say that would be highly disappointing to just go 16 miles in. There's very limited opportunities to see the wildlife by doing that. We take you as far as we can possibly go, which actually goes to mile 43. And because of a landslide in the national park, that is literally as far as the road will allow us to go. And it really allows you a great opportunity to see the wildlife and the beautiful national park. This usually takes about 4 or 5 hours to do in total, and it's an amazing experience. Now, doing the Tundra Wilderness Tour, you will have the opportunity to see the beautiful wildlife of Alaska, like these gorgeous moose, and of course, fantastic brown bear, also caribou, maybe even the elusive gray wolf. There's some fantastic wildlife to see. Coming back that evening, you might want to take part in some fantastic live music in Denali Square. And if you're doing the 3 nights in Denali, or the triple Denali, then that 3rd day, then you will also have the opportunity to just relax in our resort, or you can do an excursion like the whitewater rafting. And then finally, we do have exclusive access. We are the only major cruise line that allows, or that has opportunities to experience the Yukon. This is a fantastic area, really a remote part of the wilderness that not many people get to go to, and especially if you're interested in the gold rush history, it's a fantastic experience, and I would highly suggest an extra day or two to see that. This is led by a journey host or a tour manager. And folks, out of 470 plus ports that we go to throughout the world, this is our highest rated experience. So again, this is a fantastic place to see, and would highly suggest doing so if you're going to go all that way up to Alaska and just spend a couple days seeing this as well. So in review, we do have the most experience in Alaska. This is our 75th anniversary of being in Alaska, more than twice as long as our nearest competitor, and the most awarded as well. We have more itineraries that include Glacier Bay than any other cruise line, and it is one of the best glacier viewing opportunities in the entire world. that uncrowded experience is really, really ideal for Alaska, so you don't have to fight for railing space to see the sights, the glaciers, the wildlife that you want to. Our premier Denali experience includes that luxury train ride on the McKinley Explorer, the Tundra Wilderness Tour that takes you deep into Denali National Park, and our beautiful McKinley Chalet Resort. And we are the only cruise line that offers experiences to the Yukon as well. So hopefully that gave you some idea of why Holland America is so very well known for Alaska. And hopefully you'll trust us to take you to Alaska on your next journey up there. So now I'll just close with a few promotions for you. So we've been returning to cruising a little bit over a year now, and it's been a wonderful response. We've been able to take a ton of people back up to Alaska. And before we returned to cruising, we asked our guests, what did they want to see from Holland America? And the response was that they wanted a more all-inclusive style of cruise. So we came out with a new package called Have It All, and that is our most highly requested amenities at 50% off. So what we're doing is we're going to give you the drink package, a specialty dining, $100 shore excursion credit, and the Wi-Fi at just $50 per day. The drink package alone used to cost, still does cost $55 a day. But so now we're giving you the drink package at a discount and all this other stuff as well for just $50 a day. It's truly a phenomenal value and gives you an all-inclusive style of cruise with Holland. Now, in addition, we have a phenomenal sale going on right now. If you looked online, this little secret I have for you here. If you looked online at hollandamerica.com, it would say this goes through September 30th, but that's just around the corner here. So a little insider tip is that it's going to get extended until October 12th, but that will be it. It's going to end on October 12th. And we have some fantastic bonuses if you book a cruise or cruise tour with us with Have It All. In addition to those amenities that I just brought up for $50 a day, we're also giving you up to $300 onboard credit, the crew appreciation, which is your gratuities on board. We're going to cover that. 50% reduced deposit and up to 30% off your overall fare. So some fantastic, fantastic deals. This is one of the very best promotions that I've seen during my time with the company. And again, that's only going through October 12th. In addition to this great promotion ending soon, it's important to book early for Alaska because it's one of the best places out there to have a veranda or a balcony cabin. You want to be able to have a balcony so that you can experience the nature around you, look at those beautiful glaciers and maybe a whale coming right up next to the ship. And so it is very popular to get a balcony, and those sell out quickly. So in addition to getting the cabin you want, you can get this great deal that we have going through October 12th. And I hope that you can experience Alaska with us soon.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes,
actually, way back at the very beginning, you mentioned that wine blending. I actually did that, I guess it would have been 2019 when I was doing the Fjords cruise. It was just an unbelievable experience. So just a fun thing to do. We had a group of people that did it together. So couple of things just to remind everybody, we are going to send everybody a copy of this webinar. We'll email it to you. Feel free to share that with anyone you'd like that would like some more information on Holland America or Alaska as you're planning your trip. It's actually right now is the prime time to start planning your 2023 Alaska cruises and cruise tours. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at MOAA Vacations. I've been kind of looking, we haven't had any questions, which I guess is a testament to how thoroughly, Scott, that you went through everything. I guess at this juncture, unless there's anything additional that you wanted to add, we can go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure everybody knows as you think it over, if you have any questions that come up, just give us a call at that 800 number. We're here to help. So Scott, do you have anything else you want to add at this time?
I think that's it. Thank you, John, for the opportunity to be on this webinar today. And thank you, everyone, for your time. I hope you can experience Holland America and Alaska with us soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott, for joining us. And thanks, everybody, for joining. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.